Hey folks, TV's Kevin Lanigan up top with a little splainerino. What you're about to hear is actually an episode of a different podcast that I do, but this episode we ended up talking so much about Community and how it truly turned me into the person that I am today in ways where I mean that very literally. So I hope you enjoy it. We'll be back with a regular episode on next Thursday, but this is a little treat that I brought for you. I hope you like it. Goodbye!
Wishing the world don't ask me, I'll never tell. I looked at you as a friend, and now you're in my way. I traded my soul for a wish, pennies and dimes for a kiss. I wasn't looking for this, but now you're in my way. Your stare was holding, ripped jeans, skin was showing, hot night, wind was blowing. Where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. To look right at your baby, but here's my number, so call me maybe.
Drink up from your cups, me hearties. It's another episode of Jawing Absolute Nonsense.
What's boppin', COVIDsville?
What's happening, all you hep cats out there in quarantine land? We're bringing you another stir-crazy cabin fever-fueled episode of Jawing Absolute Nonsense. The episodes where the Jan Boys take a little break and just talk about dumb pop cultural things with their friends. Because I like my friends.
I'm currently drinking a cocktail made of that it combines Crown Royal Peach and Ski.
Ski, the lemon soda.
The Alton. I think it's made in Alton, actually.
That might check out with Ski. Ski is semi-regional. It's definitely not national. I've never seen a Ski in this part of the country. It's not even as national as a Squirt, where I feel like Squirt was at least the larger Midwest. Ski is very specific. Ski is my dad's friends coming out to the fish fry and needed to grab a cheap 2-liter.
Yes, absolutely. It's what you get when you don't want to stoop down to Vess.
Yeah, you're above getting, Mountain Thunder. You're not quite at Mountain Thunder level. And you haven't seen a Mellow Yellow in 30 years, but you need to grab something.
Mellow Yellow was gone for a while, right?
I cannot be sure. Mellow Yellow was sold...
discontinued for a while. Kind of like original Mr. Pibb was gone, and it was just Pibb Extra for a while.
I mean, you are talking about two sodas sold exclusively at my hometown soccer field pavilion. We're talking Mr. Pibb, and we're talking Mellow Yellow, and that's what you get with your nachos that are just cheese after you play a little sports game.
Wait! You didn't even get the extremely worn over gray-green jalapeno rings in your nacho cheese?
Those were optional, but I was a little puss boy, and I couldn't handle the jalapenos. I couldn't fucking take it. Yes. Now, Jacob, who has not spoken so far, we might not commit a full hour to this topic, but you are on the forefront of a brand new cultural landmark. Do you want to speak on this?
I have started watching the TV show Lost. I have no prior knowledge. Nothing has came to me through cultural osmosis, or at least nothing that I would directly recognize as Lost off the top of my head. I did not watch any of the show when it was out, and I am taking my first steps into the world of Lost after watching the pilot episodes 1 and 2.
Pilots part 1 and 2, correct. Directed by J.J. Abrams, who the show is wrongly attributed to as its author. J.J. Abrams directs the first episode, hangs around in the writer's room for 2 more episodes, and then fucks off forever to go make Mission Impossible 3. So wrongly, he is assigned the authorship of Lost pretty frequently. Listeners, just like last episode, where we got a glimpse truly into Jacob's Digimon madness, I think this is mine. I think now we should do a planned trilogy where each of us gets their time in the spotlight to reveal our true madness.
Kevin, do you really want to commit to that?
Yeah, no,
do.
Justin is the last madness
My
left.
madness?
And we will build to the greatest of 3 madnesses. We will wreck ourselves upon these rocks. Okay, I will make no hard commitment.
I also will say, like, if we're like showing off our madnesses, Digimon was only like a slight madness for me. I got way more madnesses.
Okay.
That's
Now,
true. That's true.
we're off the
Jacob
cuff
gets
here.
a mulligan. Digimon isn't that real much of a madness.
We're off the cuff here. We're off the dome.
Yeah.
But you know, I feel like in our friend group have the reputation, as I was talking about before the show, have the reputation as perhaps being the least nerdy of the bunch, the most regular school. But we just don't often touch on the pools of my madness. We don't often dip our toes in. Because Justin brought up the first DVD in the Lost Season 1 collection, and I could tell you exactly what was on it. I could tell you the backgrounds of the DVD menu, because of course they do change from disc to disc. I could tell you what episodes are on there. We are now in the lipid pools of my madness.
Kevin, what actually was the polar bear? What was that?
Don't say that! I'm 2 episodes in!
Technically,
Okay, right.
only 1 episode in. I will tell you, people have been jawing on for fucking 10 years, 15, 16...
Before you give your explanation, I just want to backtrack a little about how I had trepidation before the episode about, I'm not sure if I want to discuss Lost because I want to avoid spoilers. Justin's first contribution to the conversation is, hey Kevin, tell me this spoiler!
Okay, here's the premise.
Yeah.
Here's our
you're
promise.
Right. No, Jacob, you're right. I am stealing your spotlight because this is really your baptism into Lost.
Into Lost, my second favorite TV show of all time. Here's a pin that I will put in this, and Jacob, you can yay or nay this. Whenever you have watched as much Lost as you are going to watch, perhaps we can circle back around. We'll do a follow-up on maybe just you and me if Justin doesn't want to be dragged into it. Where we can get into the details. Maybe that one's behind the paywall. Who knows? But that if you are willing to commit to that, I am definitely willing to commit.
I am fine for whatever my jumping off point ends up being to do a post-Lost recap. Because I think it is a show worthy of discussing, and I do
is.
I think I am slightly missing out on the narrative, just because I'm coming to it so late. I'm not really enjoying it with anyone. Though I did consider possibly turning my viewing of Lost into a series, but the reason I didn't is because I wanted to do something special with it that just didn't come through. Where I wanted to watch the entire series Lost in a language I do not speak, and call the series Lost in Translation. As I pieced together the show
that's
Lost.
good.
The problem was Hulu only had English available, so I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Effort. I tried as far as the audio menu would let me, but that was my idea for how to initially watch Lost.
Now,
That's
I don't even know...
Really interesting idea.
That's very interesting. I don't even know if the DVDs have foreign language options. They might have subtitle options. And listen, you're talking to someone who has owned the complete series on physical media 2 different times. And I'm not even sure that would be an option you could feasibly track down. But it is an interesting one.
Did Lost not develop much of an international following?
To that, I cannot speak. Most shows that are certainly the size of what Lost was at its peak were certainly shipped overseas to some degree or another. I imagine there is likely a Japanese translation, a Spanish translation. I don't know if it would be readily available in a way that Jacob could feasibly track down.
Okay.
And again, Lost is coming out it starts in 2004, so we are in the nascency of obsessive online fan cataloging. Lost invents the fan site, not truly, but like the fuselage and websites like that become a real fucking nexus point of fan communities. So there's not even a good online record in the same way there would be for a Game of Thrones
or Talking Dead.
I just Googled, was Lost released in Spanish? And Google has told me, Fu Perdido Liberado, because it just translated, was Lost released into Spanish.
Google, that's an excellent joke. That's a fucking exquisite joke. Oh my goodness.
That's off to the algorithm.
That's off to the fucking algorithm.
So, I'm going to say it would not be easily accessible.
No, it's a difficult show to Google, like another one of my favorite shows that is simply called Review. It's pretty tough to Google that show and find meaningful links awaiting you on the Google homepage. Jacob, you have seen the pilot of Lost, which is mostly kind of an action show. It's a lot of like the whole huge first like 20-30 minutes are like this intense after plane crash sequence, and it all kind of builds to this like trek into the dark mysterious jungle, kind of two simultaneous treks into the dark mysterious jungle.
To flesh out our huge cast.
Yeah, gigantic cast.
It was one of those things that first off, Lost doesn't start with the plane crash. No, it starts with a Jack just kind of coming to in this quiet forest. And it was one of those things where it's like, oh, what are they getting at? What am I watching here? And then they come into that scene. Right. And then it's like, okay, never mind.
He walks out of the idyllic forest onto the beach where there has been a horrible plane crash. Mm-hmm. People are screaming. Things are exploding. Say what you will about the TV show that would follow. What a fucking opening to a TV show.
Oh, when the guy gets sucked into the turbine is like horrifying.
As I'm watching this scene, though, the only thing on my mind is, this is too many characters. And it was one of those things, as I kept thinking, like, this is way too many characters. And then people started dying. It was like, oh, it's that kind of show. That's why they have the character pool.
It's Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they're not to that same extent where Game of Thrones almost like got its rocks off on killing characters unexpectedly. Lost does less in the way of the big unexpected death. And I think one of my principal problems with Game of Thrones became a lot of characters were just dying. And it was a death that didn't mean anything to their character. It wasn't a cool, look at how this guy goes out scene, or like a meaningful moment, or a betrayal moment. It was just, they just started happening. And,
oops, oops, our contract with the actor's up, we gotta get him out.
Or oops, everyone fucking loved The Red Wedding, so let's try and do that a bunch. Now, I know they were adapting books for a while, but they ran out of books and continued to do that.
Yes.
It's Lost, I think, is much better, with a couple notable exceptions, was much better at the meaningful death, or a character choosing to sacrifice themselves. You lose a few cast members every season. And then, of course, you gain others, so the ultimate ensemble cast stays roughly the same size. There are a few characters that leave the show and are not killed. They are just like, my time on the TV show Lost has concluded, and they leave. Which is a perfectly reasonable path to take.
It's one of those things that while watching it and like slowly meeting these characters and trying to like learn their names, like I'm meeting these characters far before I learn any of their names. And it's one of the things where I'm finding myself like 2 episodes deep, and of every like character that's actually getting a scene, I'm invested in them. I want to see what they have to offer, and I'm like already hooked on these characters. The world, on the other hand, I don't know what to make of it. Like, when they first like had the rumbling and jump, was like, dinosaurs? They're like stranded on a dinosaur island? Because that's what I jumped to. And then they encounter the pilots, like, oh, that's definitely a dinosaur.
That's
and
definitely...
Then, like,
the dinosaur just ate Matt Parkman. It's dinosaur o'clock, baby.
And then they go into the woods again with a way too large of a party.
You're speaking of the polar bear party where there's like five of them? Okay.
Yeah, and like they all, and then suddenly like, oh, here comes the dinosaur. We're gonna see the It's a polar bear, and like.
Oh, I love that he's just finding out about the lost polar bears. I love it.
The guy has like a gun, and it's like, okay, well now I kind of respect this character a bit more because previously he was just some racist jerk picking on Syed. Was it Syed?
Saeed, but yeah,
Saeed.
I'm impressed. Very good.
Who was just picking on Syed, blaming him for the plane crash, which is terrible in a post 9/11 world.
Oh, that's the thing. This show was 2004, like right when the Iraq thing was getting started.
And here is the credit that I think Lost deserves to a certain degree, is that this is
absolutely
3 years post 9/11, and one of your major heroes is an Iraqi? And he is one of the most, like, he's done some dubious things in his past, but generally is one of the most, like, likable and useful and selfless people on that fucking island. And that is 2004. Bush is getting about to be elected a second time.
But
and this is one of your big characters.
It was also one of those great moments because when he pulled out that gun, suddenly it shined a whole different light on the confrontation earlier. He's not some just arrogant redhead who's letting his racism guide him. Because if he had the gun, he had a whole nother slew of options that he chose not to do.
Absolutely, yes, and that is you are of course referencing Sawyer, who is my it's maybe like tossed off, but he's really like for someone who will become at the beginning of Lost, your central pillar of three is Jack, Kate, Charlie, and that's, I think, largely because Charlie was in The Lord of the Rings 1 year previous, but they quickly discover that Sawyer is a much better font and a much more interesting character, so he kind of becomes the one of the central pillars. And when you are speaking of Sawyer, you are speaking of my favorite character in the history of television. That's my number one guy. He's a really interesting guy.
It's already, like, I'm seeing all these characters when they're first introduced. They are coming off as one way, and you're very quickly, like, seeing this other facet to them. And it is, like, also the, the subtitles have not given me any indication of if it's Japanese or Chinese, but that couple that's, like, went off on their own.
They're Korean.
Korean. All right, I was way off then.
It's okay.
I was listening for.
It's all right.
Yeah, I was listening for. Yeah, it was just.
I mean, you are mostly working off of everyone's guesses as to what they are, because the characters on the island are like, I don't know, the Chinese guy, and they're like they're Korean. Like, it's please get it correct.
Yeah, well, I have no idea what they're doing at all, because, again, like, I've got one set of subtitles from them, and now the show is giving me nothing. The show gave me enough subtitles to let me know, hey, they're characters.
They're important enough that we paid someone to subtitle this episode, but we're not letting you in on them so far.
Yeah, and
Lost
then he's going
takes
around handing these pieces of fruit to people. It's like, that doesn't meet with what the subtitles are saying. What are you playing at? I don't trust you.
Yeah, Lost loves this move where they put this. They give you the initial sketch of the character, and they're gonna try and give you you're gonna have all these assumptions in your head, and their ultimate move is to undermine that at every possible opportunity, where you're always questioning the nature of these characters and always finding out more about them, these deep, rich, colorful people.
And it's also one of those things where I will say Jack is a very interesting character right now. He's definitely fitting into the Gary Sue role, which I think is kind of important to like kind of get things started, but at the same time, like, hey, like maybe introduce a flaw eventually to make them a character and not like a messiah.
It's coming. Don't
Okay.
don't worry. So here's a fun Lost fact for you. In the initial conceptions of this pilot, up until very late, Jack was supposed to die at the end of the pilot. Jack was supposed to get ripped out of the plane and would end up in the trees where Matt Parkman ends up. That's the initial idea for that character. So you're going to spend...
Wasn't he also supposed to be played by Michael Keaton?
He was supposed to be played by Michael Keaton because they knew, like, oh, we can't get Keaton for a series, but we can probably get him for an episode. And then the pilot would end with Michael Keaton dead in a tree. A lot of everyone, including the network ABC, said, okay, very clever twist. People are going to hate that. Your audience is going to hate you immediately for them spending an entire hour getting to know this guy, and then you fucking sling him up in a tree. You think you're so clever, Mr. Lindelof, Mr. Cuse. You're very cute, but like, let's actually let this guy be a character.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget Jeffrey Lieber.
Jeffrey Lieber, Adam Horowitz, Edward Kitsis. Yeah, I've seen the credits of Lost. Justin.
The biggest question I have right now about Lost is why in the world did Jack not get someone who isn't afraid of blood to help him? Why did it have to be Hurley?
Because Hurley was there, and they wanted some comic relief. They wanted to have a bit of humor in the pilot where Jack needs help with a wound, and he gets the fucking guy who can't stand the sight of blood. No.
Hurley's also like really quickly growing off. Like Hurley always was. Like I was a big fan of Hurley. He's this good human. He's not doing anything stupid. He's being selfless. He's helping out where he can. He's already showing himself to have some worth and some use.
Hurley's the best. Hurley's your number one guy.
Everybody
loves.
That's really nice to hear, guys, because I took that "What fictional character are you?" quiz that was like all over Twitter, and I got Hurley 3 times out of 3.
Hurley's the number one guy. You could almost not get paid a higher compliment by that personality quiz. Hurley's so cool, the band Weezer named an album after him and put his picture on it.
Wait, really?
Yeah. They did an album called Hurley.
My big concern with the character Hurley right now is I'm worried they're going to use his weight as a substitute for character flaws. I'm worried that's going to be he's this perfect character, but he's also fat. Pretty good balance, right? And I'm worried that's what he's going to be, and I want more for him.
Okay.
Because we can't let dumpy, scraggly guys have character depth, can we?
Okay. Now, his weight does come up as an aspect of his character. He has other flaws. That is not his only. His great character sin is not being overweight. It is a thing that will come up.
Sawyer already referenced him as Lardo, so I get that that's going to be how the rest of the cast sees him. I just don't want that to be how the show sees him.
Yeah,
I expect more from the show in regards to Hurley.
Mm-hmm. Another Lost fun fact for you, Jorge Garcia, the actor that portrays Hurley, who you might remember from an episode of Lost, or an episode of How I Met Your Mother, essentially playing the same character, referencing how he got off that island. He originally auditioned to play Sawyer, the redneck with a gun, and they were like, you are not correct for this part, but we are going to create a part just for you, buddy. And he will be called Hurley.
Didn't he get a cameo in A Force Awakens, too?
No. There is another lost actor in Force Awakens.
Okay.
His name escapes me. He plays the character of Miles, but the actor's name escapes me. But he is in it, and of course, Matt Parkman, Greg Grunberg is in Force Awakens as well because he is J.J. Abrams' little good luck charm.
Aw.
Yeah, and that's nice.
I will also say I do have one bit of prior knowledge about Lost. I know the backgammon guy with the scar, he's either played by an actor named John Locke or his character's name's John Locke, because that's a reference in the origin of the term Nuzlocke.
Wow. Yes, the character's name is John Locke, the actor's name is Terry O'Quinn, because this show loves to name characters after famous philosophers. You have Desmond David Hume, you have Faraday, you have episodes titled Tabula Rasa, you have all of these classic philosophy references. So I hope you like them.
Oh, God.
But yeah, definitely with that scar, definitely trying to fall into that role of anime villain, which I'm excited for.
The John Locke is the closest thing this show has to. He is not a villain; he is an antagonist. And I will draw that line pretty distinctly. He is the closest thing the show has to a bad guy for a few seasons. He is the source of a lot of tension.
Yeah, it's definitely also like there's so many characters and it's such a full roster that it would be so easy to let them all just be characters, to let them fall down into these tropes or identities and just be nothing more. But they're doing a really good job of giving them substance. The only character I'm not on board with right now is the sister.
Shannon. I assume.
Shannon. Yes, the one who's like, I'm not going to do anything. Yeah, they're going to be coming to rescue us soon. And, that's the character, maybe there's more to them. Maybe they die next episode. I'm okay with either at this point.
Sure. And I don't want to let you in too much on future events. I don't want to be that guy who's like, pay close attention to this guy. He's going to be important later. Because that guy sucks. And always ruins the fun of watching a show, which is you kind of figuring a lot of things out for yourself. But they never really figure out Shannon. However long she lasts on that show, they never quite nail it. I think she is less obnoxious than her reputation. But Shannon's not a faith. Neither is her brother Boone. I think Boone is sort of he wants to be a hero, but he just is kind of boring.
I mean,
so they never really figured him out.
Boone endeared himself to me with his his charismatic stupidity, with the whole I'm a lifeguard. You should return that certification. I got you a bunch of pens. I don't know. I got you a bunch of pens
to pop a hole in his trachea.
It's one of those things where it's okay, I'm a fan of this character trope. I will say right now Boone is pretty low on my list, but I think that's largely because Boone is acting opposite Shannon, who I am not a fan of. And I think if Boone got better players to play with, he'd do a little bit better. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm interested.
I'll see. You guys already have seen.
I have seen several times the lifespan of Boone Carlisle and Shannon, whose last name escapes me.
Their brother and sister wouldn't it also be Carlisle?
No, they're step siblings.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's some color to add in there. I'm so excited that somebody's watching Lost. I finally, with my show Advanced Community Studies, have an outlet to talk about my true great obsession, which is the television show Community. But boy, if I can ever finagle someone into committing to Lost, I am we're in the money.
Which actually, your pilot of the Community show actually got me to rewatch all of Community. I just finished it.
Hell yeah, dude. Still good? Still like it?
A lot of strong points. There were a lot of points where it's I don't really... there were a lot of points where I checked out. The highs were about as high as I remembered. The lows were a lot lower than I remembered.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, with any show, Lost included, that once had to generate 25 episodes per season. There's just gonna be some lows. The fucking hand crank only goes so much.
Exactly.
And there's just gonna be some bummers in there.
It was also one of those things that's kind of going through. I redeveloped a lot of opinions about characters in Community, where characters I previously loved, my opinions greatly changed on. Honestly, this watch through was not a fan of Shirley. There was no point where I greatly enjoyed a Shirley plot.
The show often struggles with Shirley. She's kind of. I think Yvette Nicole Brown never stops being a good performer, but the show frequently struggled trying to make her as relevant as fucking Abed or Troy, or really our central five. And
because they keep going back to the Black Christian mom archetype.
Yeah.
It's not even so much the archetype even. That's bad, but the big issues I had with Shirley was all these other characters grew in some capacity. Shirley never really grew. And it was hard to be invested in Shirley's choices because they were always wrong, and they were always the same wrong choice she made a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Shirley kept falling back into her same habits. She never became more than what she started, and she just never got anything significant to do. And when she did, she was paired with Pierce to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So they were the two olds?
Her strongest moment in all of Community was in season 1 with her episode with Jeff, where they bonded by making fun of Vaughn.
Yeah, and that is the
further than that.
That is the 4th episode of Community, and then they made over 100 more. That is the peak of her character, as a character. Again, Yvette Nicole Brown continues to be a good performer throughout the show, but the show finds much more interesting things for everyone else to do, and at least Pierce gets to be the villain of season 2, and gets to die. Spoilers, I guess, for Community. It's been out for a minute, but Shirley leaves between seasons so that Yvette Nicole Brown can go be on The Odd Couple on CBS.
Wait, they remade The Odd Couple again?
Dog, I think they're still remaking The Odd Couple.
Yeah, I'm positive between recording this and Kevin releasing it in a couple weeks, there will be a new remake of The Odd Couple.
There will be a new remake, but it was on for a few years. It had Thomas Lennon and Matthew Perry as Felix and Oscar, and Yvette Nicole Brown was also there.
I will also say with this watch through, as much as I didn't like Shirley, not my least favorite character of the main group, that goes to Elroy.
Elroy Patashnik.
Did not like Elroy at all this watch.
You didn't like You don't even like Elroy. It's not even that he didn't get his time. You don't like Elroy. You don't like Keith David as Elroy.
The character it was always I felt like he was there to say, hey, I'm old. And
hello, I am old and black.
I felt like
they still needed an old, and by that point, without Pierce or Shirley, they had that.
They didn't need an old because that season's arc was Jeff, hey, I'm old now.
Right, that is the idea of season 5 Jeff, is that he has finally become old. And they well, I guess that's season 6. But they bring in Elroy, and they bring in Frankie in the season 6 premiere, and fucking Frankie kills. Frankie fucking nails it. Paget Brewster fucking pins that show to the wall and it destroys.
As a humble outsider who came in and nailed it, let me just say. Frankie amazing. There was also a moment, I think it was in season 1, where I saw the switch in Britta, where Britta was this, like, you know, rebel with a cause, and then very quickly becomes a joke for caring. And the moment that happened was when they did this arc with Annie and Shirley picking up Britta's cause and Britta being upset about it. And then at that moment, Britta did a shift. Like, all the characters develop in ways unprecedented and unexpected and become these new things. I liked Britta before that switch. That moment where Britta becomes the worst. And that was the moment where I was like, I liked Britta before.
Yeah, I understand that. It's something we've talked about on the Community show, where Britta becomes the perfect example of a Twitter white feminist, where she, you know, would tweet all day about a cause but would never go do anything about it, and becomes this poster child for, like, white feminism, and is therefore the worst. And now that becomes kind of an interesting portrayal. At the time, it was like, wow, you've never seen a character on a TV show that, like, had these sorts of convictions, and she's a joke for them. But she becomes a joke.
No,
hindsight.
they were the environmentalists in the 90s. Like, they were a punchline.
Well, there were always those people, but they were never portrayed in the popular culture, at least not in a main character role, at least not in something popular enough to cross my radar.
And in a positive light, as not, like, either the villain or the most annoying in a bad way, as opposed to Britta, who can be annoying in a good and funny way.
You're still meant to like Britta.
Yes. And once they apply to Britta the Charlie Brown principle, where, and it's there is actually a character on Lost that they follow the same trajectory for, where it's like, oh, to make this person who can be a little off-putting sympathetic, we're going to have them just, like, get beat up on a little bit. We're gonna have everybody, like, gang up on them, and just naturally the human in you will go like, "Aw, you poor thing." They Charlie Brown her, and that is their strategy. And, you know, say what you will, take back and forth. That is the ultimate strategy that they go with.
Also, my stance on Abed was very different this watch through as well. Because initially, when I first watched Community, Kevin, you can attest to this, I was someone who did not take in media. I was someone who watched my cartoons and my kids' shows, but I didn't watch a lot of movies or television, and I still don't. But I've since watched more than then.
I mean,
and now
you have seen Breaking Bad. At least, you know, you've watched enough compilations of Breaking Bad to say you've seen a significant chunk of it. You watched Better Call Saul, Game of Thrones. Like, you're also, not
Better
taking
Call Saul,
in
really good. I can't really
good show.
Honest, like, I'm upset that no one's current with Breaking Bad in our Better Call Saul in our immediate friend group.
Yeah, I keep hearing great things. Everyone's been talking about it recently. Boy, it's just it's just tough. I do intend to return to Better Call Saul at some point. It was very good, the, like, season and a half that I have seen.
Yeah. But just to kind of wrap up the Community thing, with my thoughts on Abed, this time around, I appreciated him more. I liked him less.
Sure. I see your value now. You see him. I am formulating this grand thesis for Community, is that Community, the TV show, is Jeff's story told from Abed's perspective. This, like, insanely pop culture saturated, genre defining. We understand every character's emotionality better through these genre parodies. And the brilliance of Community's, like, big send up episodes is not that they did them, but that they always found the character core at the center of them, which is so important to making them not feel just like an episode of Family Guy, where it's like, oh, Peter's doing the Beverly Hills Cop dance, but he'll fall down at the end. Like, they always found this good character note at the center of each of their parody episodes. Abed is able to create that and deliver that, even though the story is ultimately about Jeff. I don't know. That's what I'm working on.
I think there's merit there. I'm not sure if I agree with it. I think it's definitely a theory that the show allows you to have and to support. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that is anything more than that.
It's not literal. It's not like, oh, the show is written at a typewriter by Abed. It's just that the world is filtered through his perspective. He and Jeff are introduced at the same time, and they essentially end the show together. And that it's a process I'm working on. Like how everyone's favorite guy, Joss Whedon, refers to Firefly the show as River's story told from Mal's perspective. But Serenity the movie is Mal's story from River's perspective. Anyway, I don't know. It's
interesting.
It's something I will try and flesh out as we go along.
It's one of those things where, Community was a really fun show, and I really enjoyed my rewatch for the most part. But through my rewatch, a lot of the rose-colored lenses of my first watch through Community, because Community was also so defining for our friend group in college.
Mm-hmm. It was big. I showed up to freshman year of college, and I preached the good word of Community with the seasons 1 and 2 DVDs, and we ran through the show. It's what got us playing D&D. It was a huge show for our friend group at Webster University.
It got us it's a great chain of events as well. You brought in Community. That got us playing D&D. D&D eventually got a lot of our members into improv. Improv led to other things. It's also one of those things, it's just, there were so many small moments that kind of built up our friendship. Think about, I would say, the moment, Kevin, I'm not sure if you have the same, kind of key moment. I would say the moment your and my friendship started was during HVZ, that end of that first mission where you and I snuck back to Maria Hall hiding behind cars, and then one of the alarms went off. And
I think so. I think that's a big early moment for us. We had known each other, but I think that's a big transitional moment. And I'm not saying that my life is completely different without the television show Community, because that's insane.
I would say that because
I think it's possible.
The reason we were a party together was because before HVZ, we all watched another set of Community episodes, and then we left together because we just finished watching Community.
Wow. And who knows? In this butterfly effect, perhaps something else would have ended up bringing us together and ended up making this a partnership in RPGs, and had brought me to improv. Who knows how the waves would have pushed if things had been different. But the way things worked out currently, the current status of my life is very much related to Community.
Even if there could have been another inciting incident that put us at this spot, that was the inciting incident.
Right. And that is immutable now.
Justin, I feel like we've been excluding you a lot.
No, it's fine. It's so, here's the thing. I am the late interloper into the friend group. My experience of Community was something I watched during the 1 year I spent my one freshman year I spent at a college in Minnesota when I was horribly depressed, to the point that I lived almost exclusively off of a diet of peanuts, shelled peanuts and brisk tea.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't go to the mess hall. I wouldn't go to the cafeteria. I would just walk to the gas station near the college campus in Minnesota. And I went to school in Minnesota, so in dead winter, I'd still walk to the gas station and just buy bags of peanuts and brisk tea. And then I wouldn't even throw the peanut shells over, like, into the trash can, I'd just let them pile up on my desk and then shove them behind the desk when the pile got too big.
Oh, fuck. I mean, you described yourself as...
Community came at a very dark period of my life.
Me and Kevin are sharing happy memories about how, like, oh man, Community's how our friendship started. Justin's like, yeah, Community I watched while I was busy trying to die a little bit, eating nothing but peanut shells.
I was subconsciously trying to give myself type 2 diabetes by drinking literal liters of brisk sweet tea. Like the drink that can't even legally call itself tea. It's like tea-based beverage.
Oh man!
That was also when I was really into My Little Ponies, so I don't know what to think of that period.
I mean, I'm gonna roll with you, Justin. As a kids show expert, My Little Pony was a really good show.
Oh no, it was a solid show. Good. It lasted 9 seasons, like way longer than anyone expected it to.
I think it ended like last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah. Like generally, like
good, like
changing
5 years ago, but that's neither here nor there. Now I'm just thinking about what was your and my point of origin of friendship, Justin, because we were in improv together, but I felt like we didn't really start hanging out until after I did my first guest on Puffin.
Oh yeah, Jacob, you and I were friends, but you and I didn't hang out just us very much.
Yeah, but I also didn't really hang out with anyone.
That's true.
Us.
Like, really, I don't think we didn't become closer until after you left college.
I think it's Puffin.
Yeah.
And Justin, I think that's pretty true for you and me as well. Obviously, we had our Denny's and Steak and Shake nights, but
we hung out once before Puffin.
Yeah, and then Puffin was I don't know, my buddy Joe Conroy, who didn't live with me at the time, we were trying to schedule regular hangouts post grad just to make sure it was happening. And then Justin, you were like, want to hang out? I'm like, well, I'm hanging out with Joe. Do you want to come along? And then we were driving down Watson Road, and we passed Smuggler's Pizza, and for 2 hours we do bits about a gangster-run pizza parlor, and then that becomes Puffin, essentially.
Yeah, in an alternate universe, we would have launched a podcast where we played gangsters running Smuggler's Pizza.
Yeah, if it hadn't become congealed from there, and then that brings in Jacob, and then that's all she wrote, folks.
Absolutely.
Puffin Publishing Podcast, building friendships, fusing them together.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's one of the few opportunities where a podcast brings people together instead of driving them apart.
Well, I mean, there's still time.
There's still time, but
let's not get ahead of
podcast made us friends. Podcast can unmake us.
It's the only the ring must be destroyed in the fires that made it. The one ring must be cast into the Mount Doom of podcasts.
Yes.
And more so than ever, right now during quarantine, there have never been more podcasts being made, and there have never been less podcasts being listened to because no one's commuting. Yes. It's just ultimate jamming. It's like that scene in The Simpsons where they're trying to explain Mr. Burns' body to him, so they take a bunch of plastic germs and try and shove them through a tiny doorway at the same time. That's what podcasts is right now.
We were already hit. We had already hit peak podcasts, and now it's just delusion.
And that's the world. And you know what? You got to do it for fun, because barely anyone's gonna make any fucking money off of it. And you got to do it. I do it a lot so that I have an excuse to hang out with my friends every week.
Yeah.
And I get to play tabletop.
Here's a tangentially lost-related question. So in 2013, two 9/11 was an inside job-based movies came out. Star Trek Into Darkness, written by Damon Lindelof. and Iron Man 3. Which is the better truther movie?
Okay, now
Justin, I need you to explain to me what Iron Man 3 is truther propaganda?
It's about a guy pretending to be a terrorist run by like a private company that's trying to take over the presidency. And the Mandarin has extremely strong Osama bin Laden.
Oh yeah, I mean his tapes and his speeches and his whole robe and backdrop and beard. Yeah, it's all supposed to be a bin Laden pastiche.
Do I need to edit another wiki to say someone's a truther? Because honestly, there's a certain point where I have to stop.
I can tell you pretty definitively that Damon Lindelof is not, and his script on Star Trek Into Darkness is very much a work-for-hire sort of gig, and it feels like he didn't really get to, A, finish it, or B, see that script through to the end, because there's some pretty big changes being made. Shane Black, I don't think was trying with his Iron Man 3 script to deliver a truther message, but I do see what you're saying, is that they could definitely be read that way. Now, which is the better movie? It's unquestionably Iron Man 3, which is one of the best Marvel movies, quite a fine action comedy unto itself, and I generally watch it every Christmas. Which is the better truther movie? Star Trek Into Darkness.
I have my answer. I think it's Iron Man 3. And the reason I'm basing off of this is because I know from previous Google searches that Mark Ruffalo has said he has done his own research on 9/11, and buildings don't fall down like that. And he is listed as
they
a
only
famous...
fall like that when the Hulk doesn't.
Mark Ruffalo is listed amongst the famous 9/11 conspiracy theorists, and he was in Iron Man 3.
Briefly post credits, but yes, I understand.
Not.
Wow.
I don't know much about the personal beliefs of the Star Trek cast. I do not know the personal beliefs of Mr. Zachary Quinto. Cannot speak to it. Benedict Cumberbatch, etc. I still am going to go Star Trek Into Darkness as the better a movie that better works on the truther mindset. Now, here's my rationale for that. Star Trek Into Darkness works on no other level, so the truther level is its most effective level and most penetrating level, and is therefore makes a better case that is the thesis of the movie.
Has David Lindelof written any movie script that works totally on its own level?
I quite like the movie The Hunt that he wrote. I thought it was a little rip-roaring action flick.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I will say. I know his TV work better, but Damon might have some hidden films on that resume, because of course he wrote Lost. He was the head writer on Lost. He did The Leftovers. Mm-hmm. He did the Watchmen TV adaptation,
Prometheus.
or the TV sequel. He wrote the script for Prometheus, which is a movie I like more than most people. But the script, it's not its strongest element.
Yeah.
I think the movie suffers most when it tries to be a prequel to the movie Alien and answer such bold questions like, where did the alien come from? The answer, of course, being, I don't know, space? Why do I need to know where that alien came from? It's an alien. It comes from space. Let's see. Tomorrowland. Oof.
He wrote Tomorrowland?
World War Z? Which I hear is good. I haven't seen it. I think a lot of these are his scripts that are changed to a pretty significant degree, because his other screenplay credit is Cowboys and Aliens, and it bears almost no Lindelof magic.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these are scripts he wrote that if you read his original script, you would say, oh, that's more interesting. Yes, there's something more interesting.
His projects tend to be very producer heavy.
Most of them are like big studio movies or big adaptations. We haven't gotten the closest thing we've gotten to like a Lindelof auteurship is The Hunt, but that is not. I mean, Lindelof has never directed a single thing. I want to see the movie he writes and directs. I want to know what that is.
He Watchmen. He had a lot of creative control over that, like a ton. He actually co-hosted a podcast just about about Watchmen.
Yeah, he did that for Lost as well.
Oh, really?
Very, very early in the life cycle of podcasts, like 2005, 2006. He's an incredible guy that obviously has a lot of creative control, but he's never stepped into the director's chair, which I find fascinating. I think he's a very interesting writer. He's more interested in posing questions than he is in answering them, and I mean that in philosophical terms as well, not just like plot.
Yes.
I think he's very interesting in asking like, what is the nature of faith and how it impacts humanity, but he's not going to tell you what that is. He wants you to think about it too. What is a soul vis-a-vis a big alien that eats people's faces?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad everybody got to step into our mind temples a little bit. I hope this was interesting to listen to.
Yeah,
no, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, like this is the episode of what'd you call it? Jawing
absolute nonsense.
Absolute nonsense.
Yeah, I didn't want to use just again because we're about to use just. I jawing, which is technically a synonym for speaking.
Yeah, there's not enough
jabbering.
Jabbering, absolute nonsense. Something to that effect. Yes, we will be back soon with the roleplay tumble and dice that you all enjoy. But we had fun on a couple side episodes.
Yeah.
Like, and we also have like a huge.
We're having a ball here. Get off our backs.
Get off our back. You're not paying for this.
Yeah,
this is the for us.
You know what? Tell you what. Anyone who leaves a mean comment, either get your comment deleted or post a receipt for your TV's Kevin Lanigan Patreon. And if you show the receipt, your mean comment will be published and responded to next episode.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you are one of the 14 current patrons, you have the right to be mad at me. No one else does. No one else does.
Not even just about podcasts, just in general.
Just in general. You can be mad about my personal life decisions. Kevin, why do you live in New York right now? You have every right for that $1 a month, Sonny Jack.
Exactly. But if you aren't on his Patreon, you can't get mad at him for anything he does. He can do no wrong until you pay him.
Absolutely. No court will convict me if you are not one of my current patrons.
X gon' give it to you. Fuck, wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real. With the non-stop pop out and stainless steel. Go hard, getting busy with it. But I got such a good heart that I make a motherfucker wonder if he did. Damn right, and I do it again. Cause I am life, so I got to win. Break bread with the enemy. No matter how many cats I break bread with, I break who you sending me. You motherfuckers never wanted nothing but your life saved. Bitch, and that's on a light day, I'm getting down.
Your stare was holding, ripped jeans, skin was showing.
Bitch, please, if the only thing you kept there was came out to play, stay out my way, motherfucker. Gonna rock, till we gonna fall, till we let it pop, don't let it go. X gon' give it to ya, he gon' give it to ya. X gon' give it to ya, he gon' give it to ya. We gonna rock, till we gonna fall, till we let it pop, don't let it go. X gon' give it to ya, he gon' give it to ya. X gon' give it to
So
ya.
call me maybe.
We gonna rock, till we gonna fall, till we let it pop, don't let it go. X gon' give it to ya, he gon' give it to ya. X gon' give it to ya, he gon' give it to ya. We gonna rock, till we gonna fall, till we let it pop, don't let it go. X gon' give it to ya, he gon' give it to ya. X gon' give it to ya.
So call me maybe.
This has been a Talkback Podcast.